Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Galerius Smite League for our lower division set of the day, the Qin Kais versus DN. It is myself, Matlock, joined by Outso here.
Hello.
And yeah, the set, I believe, is underway, and we'll be able to hop right into picks and bans. Should be an interesting...
I will end this fight! I will vanquish all evil from this world.
Mother Earth is here for you.
Yeah. And sorry for the audio problem right there, people. There's quite a few technical problems going on behind the scenes. We're trying to make it work, so do bear with us and thank you. And yeah, so you haven't seen for a while, but it is also another pick. Well, as you know, Yanis I think has become more common now, especially because people are giving more time and day to his passive pen that he gets from his ultimate now.
These immortals need to be taught a
And we do
lesson.
see a Sun Wukong pick. Second time I've seen it on my casts so far this season. How do you value this Sun Wukong pick in general?
Sun Wukong has been rising, mainly because, well,
Shall we
Romana
get to
is
it then?
kind of permabanned. And you can get away with building a bit more damage on Sun Wukong, and that is really helping the dive on backlines. Because jungles, normal solo laners feel like they cannot do enough damage with the aura protections and support, so being able to build more damage on solo laners helps that a lot.
We do see the second round of bans now with Guan Yu and another back. I saw another jungle ban. People maybe do you reckon it's a lower division sort of mindset of, oh, we've got to be careful of the jungle because jungle is kind of dominating these games right now, and you live and die by how good of a start your jungler gets. Do you believe in that mindset? Do you follow it?
It's a bit of 50-50 between either knowing the certain players from the enemy team and you want to limit their potential, or just not wanting the jungle to go off, because especially in LD, that can be a very impactful role. If your jungle gets going, it kind of affects every lane.
Indeed, and we do. So it is a Hercules and a Ganesh to round it out. So a bit more focused towards the solo, but it is going to be an Odin pickup for the Qin Kais and a Khepri for DN. It's quite too. Odin's going to go well here because so far the DN only has one person to leap over the walls, and that is the Hunt Bats. Everyone else is going to be trapped, so we can probably assume to see a Phantom Shell. Meanwhile, the Khepri Kepri has fallen quite a bit out of favor recently. I don't exactly know why, but the Kepri struggles at the moment. So I'm keen to see how it goes. I'm keen to see these Scav's Blessings. Scav's Blessing is always going to be one of the best ultimates in the game. Hunbats, if this person could dedicate to being a ult bot, then these beads are going to be burnt on the Qin Kais side.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so the walls from this Odin has the potential to be very commanding in this team fight, but there's also a Hatsi and a Yanis from the side of DN at the moment, which are two quite strong. Well, Hatsi's a very strong pick at the moment. Yanis is. I think he's up and coming. I think people are trying to give him more time and more experimentation to see how it all happens.
Janus is also a very personal preference pick. Some people really like him and pick him very often then. As for the Hunt Bats, I'm a bit... they don't have that much beads burn outside of it, I feel like.
Beads, I mean,
So,
if Yanis uses his portal aggressively, that's going to be a few... Like, that will threaten it, but then that's Yanis using his portal aggressively, which could be quite a problem. So, I do agree, Beads, but the CC application from the end is not the best.
You will
but it's
regret
also
getting in my way.
something that has to be acknowledged is initiation for both of these teams. You kind of have the Sun Wukong charging in, you have the Yanis payload. It's kind of really it, unless you get like a blink from the Hunbats, and then go on the Qin Kais, similar thing, where Susanna can blink on in, Odin can blink on in with the ultimate, but I feel like there's an overall lack of initiation on both of these teams. So I feel like when it gets to those 5v5 Fire Giant fights, this is going to be quite difficult. And I guess there's only one way to find out. We shall go right on in and watch this game, see how it all turns out. What is your initial reaction to these drafts out? So,
personally, I like DN's draft maybe a little bit more, but well, Brexison is very comfortable. Yu Huang, I know he likes that pick a lot, and he's very good at it. So pretty even on the pick side. We'll see how it goes.
These and all the starts seem to be the same at the moment. So everyone's going to be on equal footing here. And we do see a very heavy prioritization towards beads for DN here. No blink, so the initiation, even in the early game, is going to struggle quite a bit. Because, I mean, we talked about the CC of the DN. Let's talk about CC of the Qin Kais. They have the sort of Odin Spear, they have Susano, they have Yuan, etc. They have a fair few more applications of the CC. So the beads pickups, how do you feel about there being a heavy prioritization towards them, or do you think there should be maybe a blink or two in there as well?
Well, interestingly, I find that Hunbats going beads when also seemingly going Transcendence just seems a bit weird to me. Because if you're going Transcendence first item in jungle, you clearly want to get active like more earlier. And with the beads, you really can't do that easily.
Yeah, so far no.
And on the other side, Susano, meanwhile, is going for the trance, which is the slower power spike, but also has the blink for the initiation. So
yeah, no real big skirmishes going on at the moment. Both sort of trading for damage, but a good route there from Vinny. Gives a bit of damage back, but once again, the kill potential. When do you think we're going to be seeing our first blood here?
I really feel like it's between these.
Being forced out by the
jungles.
Yanis. Susano has blinks in there, does a fair amount of damage, but will walk away. So once again, there's a lot of threat, but getting a kill on this Yanis, a portal wasn't needed there, but for future ganks, portaling away is going to be a very easy solution for this Janus.
Well, yeah, there is the Susano threat of the TP back into the Janus after the portal, so could pick into the Janus.
Is a follow-up, but then it's also the risky play of you're suddenly a lot further away from your own mid, and it's like, okay, are you going to win this 1v1 if no one else is in the jungle? Dual lane pressure does seem to be going towards the end here, the side that holds the Hatchie, and also because Vinny is being able to hit these abducts, so the Terror is pulled in to quite a fair bit of damage, but she is a light healer, so it's not going to be too bad. We do see Susano rotating over, so possibility of a gank here. Won't have beat, so he's going to walk in, but Khepri does initiate with the abduct, goes on in a good stun by Cobain, focusing on Vinny right now. Pull back, going down, roots down in place, fire goes down, and that will be a first kill for the Susano. They do get low in doing so, but it is an easy escape, and that will be a first blood. Janus did send out the free space in time, but unfortunately it was just off target and so was not able to help out. And now Susano will do a cheeky invade off the back of that. And how do you feel about them putting this much pressure on the Hatchie? Because we know Hatchie's a top pick at the moment in the ADC. Is it a good plan to just bully him and try and take away as much farm as possible?
I think like it's good to give your ROM a little bit breathing space, because Hachi can be quite suffocating on lane.
And Susano is going back in. Blink is not down, still not up back yet, but Cobain is maybe a time what will ult away. But it is an ult forced. And so a lot of offensive potential. Tatsu's going to have... Be safe in lane knowing... Oh, but loop around back in. Oh, it's just off the mark, but it will go in. Beads forced out, ult send out. No towers are taken. Varm goes into the sky, will hit a couple, but not enough to secure the kill. And Cobain will walk it out of that just fine, but a lot of pressure being put down here. Susano's not left his lane for like a minute. Well, has now left the lane, but was in that lane for like a minute or so. And so probably has given the end a bit of time to sort of farm up on other sides of the map, I'd hope.
Yeah, interestingly enough, Seal seems to be a level ahead of his opposition, the Hunbats, who has finished Jotun's Wrath, so we will be starting to see.
And who do you think DN should prioritize here with this Hunbat's ult? Like, so where should the eye be for this DN team?
I would say probably dual lane. Just get your Hachi as fed as possible.
Right, so do you think this game is going to live and die by whether or not this Hachi can get online in time?
No, Hachiman still has a very good late game. I guess Ram technically has a little bit better, but like it's very, very equal in that. So even if Hachi falls behind, he will be just fine. But looking at the enemy team, I feel like that is still the best option for this Hunbats to gank. Odin isn't an easy kill, especially with the Breastplate of Valor. And depending if Yuhan can get his 3 off in time on the Yuhan,
as it does seem like Qin Kais is going to go for another purple invade. Cobain is aware, maybe caught out by the stun, goes reeling again, gets pulled back, has to ult out once again. Not going to follow up under tier 1 tower. Once again, it seems like the three of Qin Kais here are just sitting on Cobain, don't want to give away any inches away. But once again, goes in one again, will follow up by a storm. Not just misses out of reach though. If that connected all, but free space time comes through. The Varma snipes, will it connect? No, unfortunately, Janus now here to back up his ADC. But Susano blinks on in and will finish off the kill. Janus has to beat away to not get stunned out, and that will be another kill to add onto Susano. But over on the other side of the map, the N attempt to gank of their own, and I was just shy of securing a kill onto Xenico. That would have been really good there for DN if they were able to kill that kill, but by failing, Qin Kais gets a big lead. Well, I say big lead, only about 2k at the moment, but it's a good start, especially since, as we were saying, the lower divisions well, as seen by the picks and bans, seem to be a bit scared of the jungles, banned so many away. So they're probably going to be a bit more wary of this Susana now. What do you think?
Yeah, the Qin Kais definitely showing their hand and they're putting a lot of pressure on the duo lane because they just know that Brex and Zen and Co can just survive with the safety and their kids. Odin very nearly dying there, but just surviving in the end.
Indeed. And so far it seems to be that, well, their first response to the end is, oh, they're sitting on Cobain, we'll go over to server side. They do use their ultimates, do force out the Odin beads, and as we saw, was very close. And so it's just, will they continue to follow this plan of, okay, you're on this side, we'll go to the other side, or will they try and meet for these team fights? What do you reckon?
They probably will be trying to match the pressure on the purple buff because they didn't even get the kill on Odin. Odin not even having beads, that is a teleport.
Oh, yep, sorry.
So even with the full home bats ult, they didn't get the kill there. So they might just not look in there again and just try to match the pressure Qin Kais is putting on this purple buff.
What do you think of some of Valkyrian's build here at the moment, going for Transcendence into Soul Eater? So very offensive heavy. How do you think that's going to fare up so far as we transition into the mid game?
Yeah, this is the build that I've been seeing the most Sun Wukong's going at the moment. Started, well, depends on what enemy team has, either Sigil or this time Tainted Steel, straight into Transcendence, Soul Eater. Next item probably will be Glad Shield and then some magical defense and finalizing the build with something like Heart Seeker, I would assume. It has a lot more damage than your usual solo lane build, but allows Sun Wukong to be more effective time in the backline, and with his kit he is still quite safe as long as you can just ult in time in fights.
How much of an easy time do you think they're going to have? Oh, as I said, there's going to be a fight in the mid lane at the moment as Susano beats something, but as we can see here, Yanis utilizing his ability and will pull to the way. Humbat goes in for the Fear No Evil, will force out Susano, but a good dash away by Susano, and so no kill will be confirmed, although a lot of damage done. Oh, once again, Kevin pulls back for Terror. Damage being done, but once again, this is support. Thebes is nearly stacked. Tower, not going to be of huge threat at this point in time. Yeah, what I'm going to go back to is, how easy do you think it is going to be for the Sun Wukong to dive this backline, considering the safety that the Yanis has with a portal and the sort of horse ride hat she has?
Sun Wukong diving the Yu Huang and Ram.
Oh, yep, sorry, no, I am blind as a mouse. Sorry. Yeah, diving is Yu Huang and Rama, but still sort of thing, Yu Huang has the Celestial Flight, and so he's going to be able to take himself out of the fight briefly. The Rama can go up into the sky, though the landing might be sticky, but so how still the same question, how do you think the dive will go against this backline?
Yeah, the backline has the ways to keep them safe quite a long while, but it will still make them not be in the fight. So I feel like this Sun Wukong could be very effective at forcing those cooldowns of Ram ult and the Celestial Flight out of Yu Huang.
Indeed.
Interesting to see the 2-level difference in jungle, despite Pink Unicornia spending all that time on the duo lane.
Yeah, well, two kills are probably going to help you out a lot. Still not ridiculously far ahead because he is still on par with the enemy Yanis and Hachi. So it's probably less so that Susano is ahead and more so that the Hunbat is behind. We can probably assume to say.
And Hunbat's seemingly going Transcendence second item, which is a bit interesting to me. That slows the power spike down quite heavily.
Indeed it does. Probably realised that the Jotun was not cutting it, not matching the early game that this Susano brings, and was like, okay, right, let's not fight for 10 minutes. Let's wait for him to get this stacked up. Do you reckon the N can afford to sort of avoid these fights throughout the mid game, or do you think they should try and take the opportunity to fight now?
Well, looking at how Qin Kais have not gotten any, unless we
Sun
get
goes in once again,
another.
but the Hatsi will ult away. But once again, it's not forced. Meanwhile, a 3-man grouping here on the King Kai's blue man, but blue man, the blue buff, but they are going to dissipate as Ziniko shows up. You see Pink Unicorn going once again, will blink, but miss the pull. That's a blink, unfortunately, gone down the drain. We'll see a Pyromancer being sort of looked at as well on the other side of the map. And as he being done, will it be taken away? Will actually be stolen by the King Kais. Yuhong gets killed. Meanwhile, Valkyrie and Zeniko are fighting in the jungle on the other side. Will Humbats choose to initiate and help out? Meanwhile, Sano on the left-hand side, it's a double point defensive, forces out the beads, puts out the ult, still does a lot of damage, not going to go in. Meanwhile, Rama will look for the snipes and will be successful. Second kill across the map for King Kais in that exchange. Meanwhile, Zeniko Valkyrian on the right-hand side still, as you know, Zeniko and Valkyrian and the Terror are fighting around on the DM blue buff. Will it be stolen away? If so, that's a nice cherry on top for how this fight has gone for the King Kais. Nope, Valkorian will secure it, and so still not good for DN. It's still very much a bad time. Meanwhile, Hunbats, oh no, it's a trail of destruction, gets caught out, will get away. Will ult Fino even in case there's going to be any follow-up. Unfortunately, the burn from Flames of the Phoenix was not enough. And disaster
Yeah,
also avoided.
the tick damage from Susanna nearly killing him, but just the last tick just leaves him enough HP to jump out. A bit unfortunate for the ultimate spended on bats, but better a bit to be safe than sorry, I guess. Has finished the Transcendence and is starting to stack it up now.
Yeah, it's gonna be a tricky time now. Still only 2 levels ahead for this Susano versus, well, not even that, like 1 bit. So it's not terrible, but the gold and XP lead is being dragged out overall with that Pyromancer pickup and kills across the map.
Yeah.
Naturally, still only
Getting...
it's only about 4K. Still very easy comebackable from the end. What do you think they need to look for? Do you think they need to look for objectives, team fights, picks? What's their game plan be here?
Well, at the moment, I feel like they are a little bit of survival situation because Hunbats wants to be stacking that Transcendence and not fighting at the moment. So they just need to be warding the Gold Fury, need to make sure that the guys doesn't get that. Try to find as much farm meanwhile.
Pirebomb used there to take down tier 1 tower. Fino even gets used, but Susanoo is going to be able to just get out of there before it hits. Meanwhile, Tree Space and Time goes in, does clip on to the Yu Huang, does a bit of damage. Don't know if they're going to stay around long. Grouping happening on the left side jungle. Will a few be looked at? Rama is going round. It does seem to be the call for the King Kais. DN are aware solar sides won't be coming around anytime soon. They're in the squabble of their own at the moment. Fury is going down. Vinny gets the pull on Susano, but gets pulled back. Takes a lot of damage. Has these guys pressing on himself. Will be revived and pops out at the same time. Will get the portal from Azus to get out of there. Good placement there by Vianus. And that's forced the King Kais to drop, but Hunbats might be in a sticky situation here and does get kill confirmed by Terra. So it will be at least 1 kill that the King Kais get here for their attempt onto the Gold Fury.
Yeah, really good Fury defense from DN until Hunbats just finds himself in a bad position, gets picked. They didn't lose much. No ultimates available other than Capri before that fight, so... But still does stop the Fury attempt of Qin Kais.
Yeah, it is unfortunately another kill for the King Kais. Not onto their jungler, so it's not getting worse. It does go to their supports. I guess if you had to give the kill over to anyone, okay, giving it support. Talking about supports at the moment, how do you value these builds? The Kepri going towards the cooldown reduction needed from Pridwin. Meanwhile, Terra has gone the Lotus Crown to aid in their protection buff on the heal. And also seems to be going the power item now. Do you think it's a good call by the Terror to be leaning into power now, or do you think a bit more tankiness first and then into power?
Well, they are ahead, and they are the driving force in this fight, so I feel like this is a good place to be going for. Gonna be assuming that's probably... Well, it could be either Divine Ruin or Spirit Desolation. Both work in this slot. Leaning towards Desolation myself, but it has been interesting to see after the mitigation changes they made that supports have quite heavily just dropped Prophetic Cloak completely. And went back to building Thebes' first item.
Well, I think people have realised that Prophetic is a risky item to go because you have to hit these abilities, and if not, you're not. If you go Cloak and your enemy support goes Thebes and you can't get Cloak stacked, they're going to do well. It's good if you can get Cloak stacked, but it's that just you can just play it safe and go Thebes, which is what these supports seem to go, and which I am absolutely okay with. It's still a lot of protections. Meanwhile, fight isn't this here. They do get a pull onto Zeniko, but meanwhile, it's a triple knock up here. Kais goes down. Brex gets one kill, pushes out the dueling dragon, secures another. Sun Wukong up into the sky, won't be spotted out. Will stand back down with a reinitiation onto Pink Unicorn to get a kill there, at least first kill for DN. But Qin Kais looking to follow up, leap over by Zeniko. Bane will be able to dodge out the flames of the Phoenix, but will be a pyromancer support as well by the Qin Kais, and they will be able to secure that and the bomb pickup. And once again, an initiation by the DN onto the Odin leads to a 1-for-1 trade and a pyromancer for the Qin Kai. So still not the best for him, but there is an improvement at the very least, we can say. How did you feel about that team fight by DN? They were very grouped up, and that seemed to aid the Qin Kai's ultimates. Like, how would you say that all went?
Yeah, ended up being 2-for-1 for Qin Kais because both
Hunbats
and
right,
Khepri did die. I feel like DN a little bit baited themselves in that by looking at Odin, who was out of position, but he is extremely tanky at this point, level 17, but already has Breastplate of Valor, Glad Shield, and Amulet of Stronghold online. Very hard to kill at this point.
Indeed, and already you can start to see the effect the different solo builds have gone. The Sun Wukong has gone a lot more into a damagey type build, die focus. Meanwhile, the Odin is effectively another tank at the moment. And as we saw there, Zeniko was able to survive, but then damage from Valkyrian was able to secure at least a 1 kill for DN. How do you think these builds are going to compare as we go into late game?
Well, the builds as they are, they work really well as for what the characters are meant to do. Odin, very, very tanky, heavy frontlining ability with the shield, able to cage people and keep them occupied for a long time. And Sun Wukong finishing up the Hardwood Amulet. They're probably going for Amulet of Stronghold too. And I'm assuming the next item will be more damage.
Meanwhile, Pink Unicorn
haven't been able to.
Sorry, Pink Unicorn does engage there onto the Sun Wukong, but it won't be a full follow-up fight as both teams start to group around. Fire Giant probably being looked at only 20 minutes in, so a somewhat early Fire Giant call. Do you think? How do you value the sort of secure and steal potentials of both of these teams?
Well, secure. I feel like both secure and steal potential are better on the side of DN with Janus ult, obviously. And Hunbat's ult can help a lot in those situations. I feel like Qin Kais is just trying to group and get a pick, and then get a Fire Giant with their lead, but their lead isn't that big outside of jungle. Only a level on mid, level on ADC, and level on solo. 2 levels on jungle.
Yeah, overall, like XP differential does not seem to be that hard at the moment. It just seems to be mostly in the gold department where the diff is forming nearly 5k right now. But we do see once again DNL like sticking on this side by Firesign, and they want to try and sneak this away. But meanwhile, this is just giving Qin Kais more opportunity to farm the rest of the map. Both the Llama and the Susanoo went over to the left side to pick up some farm. So it's like DN once again they're I feel like they're focusing a bit too hard on the objective, and this might lead into a team fight. Valkyrie gets called out, has to use the ultimate to get up into the sky for the CC immunity. Will Qin Kais choose follow up, or will they choose disengage? Valkyrian will disengage, and it doesn't seem like a swift follow up by Qin Kais, but they are looking to see if they will step out of position once again. Meanwhile, Dueling Dragons is used, and it pushes Valkyrian into the case. Scouts Passing goes on. Good keeps the Valkyrian alive. That's a key initiation and team fight ultimates from the Qin Kais used and ultimately not able to be used to their full extent. But it will lead to a fire giant call by the Qin Kais. Not the great shred. It's being burnt down slowly. DNR, where Vinny is stepping up. Carrot, meanwhile, jungle and mid going around the other side. And it does seem to be fire giant will be dropped by the Qin Kais in favor for loop round. And maybe looking at this team fight. Ghost Shell is used. Valkyrian goes on in to the back line, follows on up. Hunbat jumps on in. Frenzy is popped by the side of DN. I know we are choosing to try, but Ziniko is just too tanky. Meanwhile, it is a jungle fight here, and a bead used by Susano will win the 1v1 on that jungle, but Cobain will be able to come in and swiftly pick up. Meanwhile, Varama will be able to deal with that. Sun Wukong sticking on him, and that will be a 2-for-1 trade across that team right there in favor of the Qin Kais.
A bit messy call from Qin Kais. They're getting quite separated, but in the end, pulling the ultimate out of Sun Wukong before that fight ends up keeping their ROM alive and lending them the Pyromancer at least.
Indeed, and it also seems to be that once again that sort of build difference we're seeing in solos. Valkyrian is doing damage to the backlines, but Zeniko is just so tanky, and he's the one that is stepping forward, and he's the one that the end seems to be focusing on, but he's just not dying. Like, there does not seem to be enough. Do you think there's not enough damage follow-up at the moment from DM when they pluck away Zeniko, or is it just because what they have at the moment is not enough to kill him?
Yeah, I think the gold difference here is just affecting the ability to kill this Odin. Cobain is still working on his dominance here. Not having that severely makes him lack damage on this Odin. Janus.
Meanwhile, Susano will go look in, gets pulled on. Seal buff is going to be removed now. Goes on back in, but Hatsi is doing a lot of damage right now. Follows up with an ult. And so Susano looks back. Meanwhile, it's going to be a call for fires on the right hand side. Humbats goes on in, does hit the monkey toss, and will be able to secure the kill onto Big Unicorn. That's going to be big, but it does mean that two of the end members are on the left-hand side of the map, and so Qin Kais are going to be continuing to go on with his fire zone call. Valkyrian just able to get up in time, does have Scab's blessing on him, and so that is going to be waited ultimate. Yep, by the time he jumps down, Scab's ultimate is gone. He is not able to be used. Meanwhile, Vinny's still in the fire zone pit. Fire zone has not been dropped yet. It is still very low. Meanwhile, Dueling Dragons used once again. Brex just not able to secure the kill onto Valkyrian. Meanwhile, Zeniko is just being now a sort of menace to the front line of DN, just pushing them back. But now Hunbat's in the fray, coming around the back line, goes on to Brex. So let's still fight used to avoid it. Meanwhile, as we can see on camera right now, oh no, never. So beads used by the Hunbat's bead goes back on him on the base of the monkey toss. Frenzy and Terra ult popped, and that will mean that is the end of it. But now Zeus goes in, gets a double kill on the follow-up, sets up. Meanwhile, Zeniko gets another kill onto the support, and Valkyrian will be able to help Zeus finish that fight there. And now it's but while that's all been going on, Hatsi's been in left lane being busy and has destroyed left side Phoenix. And this game has just been flipped on its head. Zeniko trying to secure one more kill here for the Qin Kais to try and even it out, but will be down. Now Valkyrian's ult is up again. I swear that was used 30 seconds ago. How that was up quickly, but yeah, and so this continues, and now Unicorn trying to get some more, like, any scraps here, but it is going to be a good disengage by Sun Wukong and the Yanis, and so that fight goes very handily for the end. They do lose some members, but they gain a Phoenix and they stop the Fire Giant pool.
The full
your opinions on that fight right there?
Yeah, I feel like Qin Kais are getting a bit baited by this Fire Giant now. They are trying to force it, and I feel like there was a little bit of miscommunication. Do we keep at it? Do we fight?
Mm-hmm.
And with that, the Ram and Yu Huang get a way too low from the fire giant damage.
And we will see a grouping once again on Fire Giant, but this time DN are going to be taking positioning over the main dance floor, positioning over it, wards going up. Meanwhile, Zeniko has been sent to deal with the fire waves going through left lane right now, wanting Cobain's destruction to not cause a win-win situation. Valkyrian in the front line is getting shredded down now, has the ultimate once again for that regen, but it is a fire giant being pulled and damaged. And it is going to be low, but it is going to be DN to secure the fire giant. Struggling so far this game with a 5k gold difference, and now they're ahead by 500 gold, but it's quite the comeback. Yeah, Fire Giant on 5 members now. They have to use a lot of team fight movements, so they're not going to be able to follow up quite yet with a team fight. But it is going to be with a Phoenix already down. Do you think they're going to try and... Do you think this is the Fire Giant that ends the game, or do you think they're just going to try and crack a few more birds in?
With the gold being this even, I'm gonna assume they're just gonna take the Fury and the remaining towers with this Fire Giant, and we probably will be looking for another Fire Giant in 4 minutes' time.
Meanwhile, it will actually be Qin Kais to take priority and take the Primal Fury here, as DN does in fact group on the right-hand side to try and maybe get Tier 2 tower here. They're probably not going to be able to get to Phoenix by the time that Qin Kai's back, but another Tier 2 tower would be a good reward for their streak of a comeback here. They will choose to not go forward to the Phoenix and probably get the Pyromancer here and then hopefully just destroy the rest of Qin Kai's towers in this Fire Giant phase.
They have plenty of time to still siege on the mid Phoenix with the left wave pushing in, thanks to Cobain split pushing it earlier.
Indeed, and as we sort of see in these past team fights, especially with the big decisive one with a Fire Giant, Valkyrian, now that he has some tanky items, is actually a more effective menace and dive on the front line. Vinny goes in, misses the abduct. Qin Kai's will disengage. Are they going to choose to defend this Tier 2 tower here, or do you think they should wait for Phoenix defense?
Yeah, I feel like soft defense is still
but it actually
possible.
will be pulled up. Zeniko abducted there, but it's not going to be enough damage follow up to get the kill. Meanwhile, Brex has been sent to defend the left Phoenix for them. Hopefully that can respawn and not fall down as it's birthed. Does fall up. Fire Giant, 5 minion wave far enough away. But it does seem like DN is grouping up and going to try and get this easy Phoenix right here. 30 seconds left on Fire Giant. They can try and get team fight here. Zeniko steps up, sort of posturing around. The duck misses by Vinny, but so does the root from the Terror. Relics are up mostly across the board, so all ready for team fight and ultimates. Fire Giant only another 15 seconds. Are they going to choose to invade? Probably waiting for they're probably waiting for minion wave, but Fire Giant's going to be gone by the time that arrives.
They should still be able to get this.
It is low.
Phoenix over here.
Goes on in now. Frenzy pop. Duran go through. Does miss damage. Cobain gets 1 kill. Meanwhile, Susano on the Yanis in the backline. Sends for the ultimate. Gets 1 kill. Brex picks them another. Valkyrie meanwhile in the backline has scared away with that. Scared away the backline. Meanwhile, Cobain ults on in, not able to find a target. So it is going to be a 3-for-1 trade, and Phoenix falls in favor of the end. But now Terror goes on in. Ultimates down. People are low. Brexit could clean up if he... But unfortunately not able to. Cobain picks up another kill. Picks up a double kill in that fight. And after a rough 20-25 minutes, it will be DN taking this game. And what a comeback. What a turnaround. One poor Fire Giant fight for the Qin Kais, and it's all swept from under their feet.
Yeah, Qin Kais kind of just baited themselves into those poor Fire Giant fights, just being ahead by, well, only 5,000 gold, and got punished quite heavily for it.
Unfortunately, they weren't able to burn down and secure the Fire Giant quick enough, and that seems to be the decisive factor. All it took was one Fire Giant there for the end to take up the game. And post-game discussion, we can look here at the damage numbers. Ultimately, from once again, Hachi, they tried to give the Hatsu up early game, but still 20k damage, nearly top damage of the team. Just does so much there. And do you think that we should be seeing a Hatsu ban next game?
I feel like that is a bit of personal preference from the other ADC. Like, if you think you can play well enough into an Hachiman, I don't feel like he's ban worthy. Like, he is definitely very good at the moment, but I don't find Hachiman such a overbearing pick that you need to ban him out. But if you do, that means that an ADC cannot be as safe and have as much pressure on the lane. So that is to personal preference. The Sun Wukong did actually his job very well late
once
game.
he was able to get those sort of tank items, he was actually able to be a lot more of a threat to the backline, and that seems to be quite a sort of swing. Once he was no longer dying as quickly, he was able to just pose more as a threat and just distract the backline even further. I do believe we're going to go on break now for a bit before game 2, so stick tuned. Will this be a 2-0, or will Qin Kais be able to follow through with their early game and take a game for themselves? See you soon.
Smoked out, tongue tied, ain't letting your bitches slide. I played you, your eyes gone fucking wide. I wish I could just leave you fucking side. You an annoyance to everyone around you now. And now the two of you, yo, pride the one you fucking through. Underage girls, what the fuck you into? Please tell me what the fuck is going on in your broken ass mind. Yeah. Yeah. Yo, I'm back. I see small voice just licking my sack. Pistol into the fucking wall, kinda slack. You been talking a lot of smack, but you been acting kinda whack. I got something you lack. Fast stacks a Big Mac, and your mama throwing it back, throwing it back. Smoked out, tongue tied, ain't letting your bitches slide. I played you, your eyes gone fucking wide. I wish I could just leave you fucking side. You an annoyance to everyone around you now. And now the two of you, yo, pride the one you fucking through. Underage girls, what the fuck you into? Please tell me what the fuck is going on in your broken ass mind. Yeah, you think you heard shit, but I think not, bitch. Be switch, got me in a different pitch, bitch. Built like a fridge, only get in touch, cause people wonder what is inside. Wonder what's inside, nothing cause you spread them cheeks.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Game 2 of this Qin Kais versus DN set. After quite a turbulent Game 1, we are here to see, will this be a 2-0 by DN, or will Qin Kais be able to follow through and so that they can get a good early game and carry it through to a victory? I'm joined once again by Outso in my chair too, and we will go straight into picks and bans. And do you think we're going to see the same bands here, Outso, or do you think we're going to see any difference?
Well, so far looking like pretty much same bands. I don't think there was particularly anything. Qin Kais might be looking into the Janus.
Yeah. Who do you think was the more deciding carry for DN in the last game? Was it the Izus Janus or was it the Cabane Hachi?
Well, Cabane did provide most of the damage, but I feel like that was not as much character dependent. I feel like he could have done that on not almost anyone, but on very different characters too.
Yeah, but
as we
do see Qin Kais pick up the Hatsi this time, and so they'll be able to utilize well. I'm thinking back. Did Cabane ever really leave left lane? Like, did he ever really appear in the team fights? Because like when there was that big decisive team fight on Fire Time, he was taking Phoenix. So it felt like he was just jamming his den. Was like, okay, you sat on me early. I'm just gonna be here then and just push forward. Do you want to see some more Hatsi rotations from the Qin Kais here, or do you think it's cool to just let the Hatsi sort of sit by in lane?
Shall we get to it then?
Personally, I feel like Cabane did what you're supposed to do when you're behind as an ADC. Just stick to your lane and get to level 20 as soon as possible, which he did. And then join the fights when you're strong. And we're interested to see what Cabane will be picking up to match the Hachiman pressure, or does he just get something safe for himself?
And already we see quite a few differences in bans. We see an Athena and 4 picked up for DN here, and an Agni in place of Qin Kais. So let's start with 4 pick. Do you think this is going to be 4 jungle or 4 below?
Well, not knowing their
where would you rather see this?
I would.
Oh, Hazek, well, our answer might be decided for us, and we see a Sun Wukong. Yeah. How do you think 4 is going to fare into this Susanoo?
Well, in a 1v1 matchup, it's pretty even. I'd say it depends on actives in that situation, but DN really going heavily on the global presence again. Last game they had Janus, now they have Athena and 4 the semi-global. So they will be looking to might be looking into gank the duo lane more this time.
Semi-global gank potential here gained by the end with this 4 pickup here. We will go into final bans. We will have the Guan and Herc band again, and for Qin Kai's second bans, it will be a Cupid and a Rama. Who do you think DN are going to pick up here for their ADC? What do you reckon? Oh, no, never mind. Once again, answered question for us by the picks and bans. It is going to be a Cernanos. Was hit by a nerf recently. His passive no longer as strong as it was. How do you think the Cern fares against his Hatsi?
Now, I was going to say that if Cabane wants to match up to the lane pressure of Hachiman, Cernanos is a very good pick for that. And looking like that is exactly what he wants to do. So we might be seeing a way more active dual lane, depending on what the junglers do.
And we are going to see a Bologna pick up here and a Horus. I feel like we're safe to assume this is Horus support Bologna solo. How do you feel about Bologna solo? I've not seen the sort of playstyle of auto attack solos fairly recently. How do you think it fares up here?
Yeah, I haven't seen especially Bologna in a long time, but it's often said that in LD personal comfort picks go over the meta, so we will see how Seneca will do on this Bologna. I feel like she still can be really strong, especially with the buffs to deaths Embrace and with the new amplifier item,
Mm-hmm.
and obviously Phalanx too.
Yeah, indeed. And but another thing to note from this Qin Kais team is that it is a physical, heavy damage type here. It's only the Agni providing the magical damage for the team. How do you think? Well, how do you think that's going to go for them? Like, do you think that's an okay to do here, or do you think you need that balance for a bit of magic damage from the support?
Well, magic damage from support rarely matters, but I feel like with the Horus protection shred, it's fine. But we will see in the game.
Yeah, but yeah, exactly. Only one way to find out, and that is by seeing. So we will go into game 2 of DN versus Qin Kais in this lower division set. We will see that the starts are going to be the same here, but it's going to be a war flag for the start to pick up here for Athena. How do you think? Already did get buffed, and people are speculating it could rise to a bit of prominence. How do you feel about it here?
Very interesting pickup. I personally still think that it's just as bad as it's always been, and not worth picking up over the other two
Right.
that are just simply better in any way. It is very offense oriented,
Yeah.
very pressure heavy pick.
I feel like with the Athena pickup as well, it means they're looking probably for these early fights, get the taunt in, hit the Bramble Blast, and just try and chunk down either the support or ADC of the Qin Kais. Meanwhile, the builds across the board do seem fairly okay. Zenico is going this Death's Toll, so gonna have quite a lot of health and mana sustain ready. Sun Wukong probably not going to be getting an early kill here unless it's aided by a gank, which, to be fair, could come plentiful with what the 4 offers in his semi-global ultimate. And it is actually going to be Zenico chunking down Valkyrian here. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna assume that Bellona will have heavy lane pressure
Yeah,
here.
indeed. We'll continue. We do also have the Vulcan pickup here. I like Vulcan as a flavor pick. I think he's always fun. How do you think he fares in the game state at the moment? How do you think he is compared to Agni or Merlin or the other sort of top mids at the moment?
Well, in a vacuum, I would say Vulcan obviously loses to many of those top picks, but this is Izu's Vulcan, which is very much of a comfort pick for him. And as I earlier said, this is LD. Very often comfort picks override the meta.
We do see a good wall just off the mark where in trapping the Qin Kai's dual lane. So rotation here by 4 not going to be met with fruitful bounty. I mean, well, once again, we see sort of a very heavy reliance on beads here by the end. They do not want to be sort of caught out of position by any CC that Qin Kai's throw their way. Yeah, once again, a blink for Pink Unicorn. How do you think we're going to see as strong a start for Susano here as we did in game 1?
He has a very good. I feel like he has easier targets this time because Vulcan obviously not very high mobility, and Cabane not having CC immunity. As we get.
Meanwhile, for him, I get caught out. He's level 3 versus 2 people. Has to use the beads, but it's not going to stop the pullback. Meanwhile, Solomon Colin here now trying to get a bit of something, but it will be Zenico picking up a first kill here, getting them to level 5. Will ult down on Valkyrian, force out another set of beads, but everyone's low. But it will be a disengaged choice by DN here. But Pink Unicorn still here will go in for the follow-up, pulls him back, and it's going to be a double kill for Qin Kais. And as I asked that question just before the fight, it is looking like another strong early game for the Qin Kais here.
Yeah, very, very unfortunate from Semi beating late. Oh, that Susano Paul is going for the same start as last time.
Yeah.
Beats, but still going for it.
Meanwhile, it does seem like a solo kill, I assume, there by Izus. Had probably used the ultimate secure it there as it is gone. And so DN already biting back sooner than they did game 1. And it's probably on the person they want it on most on Izus here. Going to look for quite a lot of damage. The ultimate versus the I forget the ultimate name, but the big boom from Vulcan. we all fear it. We don't want to be caught in it.
Earthshaker.
And meanwhile, it
The
does seem to
Earthshaker,
be.
and then he just
As
dies.
I'm speaking the praises, Susanna comes in and be like, "I need more. Give me more." And picks up another sort of solo kill gank there onto Ezeus. And
Yeah, Isus with showing his Vulcan there with the solo kill on Brax, and then just gets the one more wave syndrome and stays way too long with very low health mana.
did not even use beads at all in either of those engagements, so choosing to keep hold of him in case, maybe he believed he was dead there to Vites, and so didn't want to waste the relic and hold on to it for potentially the next gank. Who knows?
To be fair, he just got the beats off cooldown
Oh,
after he
okay,
died,
he did
but
get him
I
off
feel
cooldown.
like
Right, okay.
I feel like he still would have probably died even with the beats because he was so low. So probably for the best.
Indeed, and now support are rotating back now, and the Athena sort of taunt here is going to be massive for the team fight of DN, just setting up for the sort of for any of Vulcan's, well, any of their abilities in general. That taunt is going to be a huge component of the initiation that DN holds here.
Oh, Semi getting
Oh
his...
no, and it is going to be a cat's out again on Semi, and another kill for Susano, going for this 3-0 start again. But then once again, the Qin Kais have to be thinking in the back of their minds. Oh no, Hazak, I'll put that in thought here as Cobain gets put under trouble. Has used beats to avoid knockoff, it's not going to be enough, and it will be Cobain. Sorry, not it will be Cobain falling here for a kill for the Hachi. And that's going to be good for the dual lane presser here for the Qin Kais. But as I was saying, as this is happening, in the back of the Qin Kai's mind, there has to be the thought: we had this good of a start game one and we lost it. How much sort of mental pressure do you think Qin Kais are going to be under with how far ahead they get this early?
I feel like early game they won't have any problems with mentals, but as soon as objectives start, then it might just come in the back of your mind that we had a lead, we just kind of lost it on the objectives in game one.
Yeah. Meanwhile, it does look like Susano is looking to stop this for Invade at the moment, but 4 will be able to get into the sky just in time and was successful with the blue invade, but will he get out in time? Horus looking for the ultimate. Hammer throw will help and secure 4's escape there. An ultimate used by Horus to try and catch him out, not enough, and so 4 gets a bit of farm from the invade, but it feels like he is not being able to get any farm. Still only level 6 at the moment, on par with the supports. Susano pulling a 2-level early lead here. Does 4 here just need to focus on farming, or do you think he can still have an impact on ganks and fights in this early stage?
Well, he has gone for the same build as last time, Jonas Wrath straight into a Transcendence, which is a very, very, very odd build choice in my opinion, because he had the same start last game, very poor start, and when you start with Jonas, you just want to get active as soon as possible. And I feel like he wants to get active right now, but like he has very poor options to do that right now. He is 2 levels behind anyone he could gank.
Susano sows face on the right hand side and does force out Valkorian's ultimate, but will mean he gets out fine. Meanwhile, Semicat's out the support here. Not going to be able to get a kill here, but going to do a fair bit of damage in response. But it does seem like a bit of a convergence happening right now on the left-hand side. But now Pink Unicorn actually goes in again. Will force out a knock-up by Sun Wukong. Zeneca goes in with the Romans, with her ultimate. Good beads by Valkorian, avoids a lot of the damage follow-up. And so Zeneca has to walk on around the same, but is going to look for maybe a blue invade on this right-hand side. Pulling away, Valkorian looking. Athena choosing to ult on over. Susano is here, though, but not going to choose to follow up, choosing just to play it safe. No reason to be overly aggressive. They already have a 3k lead at the moment, but now it might be a follow-up as Semi gets pulled in once again, and Horus will secure the kill. Vulcan tosses over the ultimate, but will not connect, unfortunately. And it's going to be another kill onto Semi here, onto DN. I just feel like, as I was saying, they were choosing to disengage. Unfortunately, 4 was caught out.
And decides to go Hydra's Lament this time, second item, instead of
Yeah, trying to
Transcendence.
stick with his early game power spike, but then do you think he's going to be able to utilize his early game power spike, or do you think he's been neutered enough already?
Yeah, I feel like at this moment he just should have just gone for the trends and started to hyper farm for it. And just ignore ganking at the moment. He is almost 3 levels behind of any laner in Qin Kais.
Indeed.
There is very few gank opportunities, especially with the safety of both Zeniko and Tatri.
Yeah, I mean, choosing sort of excluding jungle in our current analysis, it's fairly okay for the rest of the board, mids, ADCs, and solo. It is leaning towards Qin Kais with their XP gap, but it's not. I don't think it's anything to be concerned about at the moment with their laning phases. I think once it gets to the team fight, the jungle level gap will show itself in the team fights, but with these one-on-one, 2-on-2 skirmishes at the moment, it should hopefully still be okay. Like, do you think DN here needs to be looking for team fights, picks, objectives? What's their game plan now?
Currently, I feel like they just want to keep farming and trying to prevent any objectives going down for the Qin Kais, trying to get their jungle back in the game. Maybe look people out of positions.
Indeed.
But currently, I feel like Qin Kais are already showing in a bit that they're a bit scared of these objectives. I feel like these lanes and a few pickups, they could have looked for Pyromancer or a Gold Fury already.
I mean, do you think because assuming their main secure steal here is the Agni bombs, ultimates, but once again, DN sort of have this sort of better, better stereotypical steal and secure with the Vulcan ult. Do you think? How do you feel about the objective burn on the side of the Qin Kais?
Their objective burn should be decent. Agni can provide decent DPS with the 3 bombs, but obviously, yeah, as you said, the steal potential is very high from DN with Izu's ultimate. So I feel like they just want to look if they can find a pick, especially onto Izu's beforehand, before looking any of these objectives. And that opportunity has not shown itself so far, so they're just happy to be farming with their lead, looking to get any opportunities. As say that
will be a pull onto the Pyromancer. They are sort of not full committing at the moment, and DN are following up and choosing to show face, but now Zeneca going around the back line. Vinny quite out of position, no will follow up at the moment. Volcanot goes in Fuvo and does get the kill onto Pink Unicorn. That was a lot of damage, but a Tahuti second item is going to do that. Horus uses to open to get away, but it's not going to be enough. The Vulcan 3 is going to be enough to secure that kill. And they keep on chasing in. Agni's going to dash away. Zeniko uses the Skurs to disarm, but it's not going to be enough. Gets caught out. Shell use has to ult up and over, but Valkorian will secure the kill with a Sun Wukong ult. And what was a Pyromancer call there by Qin Kais becomes once again a fool here, and just Vinny was out of position, but everyone grouped around Vinny, and Izu said, "Oh, they're all grouped up. Let me just throw my ultimate at them," and just chonk down Susano like that. I did not expect that Vulcan up there to do that much damage this early on. Still, like
yeah, that was a bit unfortunate. It was very close with Susano getting out of it. If he did, that would have been very good for Qin Kais, getting that huge ultimate and the steal potential out of Izus, and then going for the Pyro pull again.
And there was a brief pause there, so we will go right back in. The end will pick up where the Qin Kais left off and take this Pyromancer. And so already not as late in the game as 20 couple minutes in game one. The end already so okay. You had your fun, you had your early game. let's play Smite, and they've sort of still not fully equalized this gold diff at the moment, but only about 2k in it, not a lot. And meanwhile, Bricks is going to follow up here. Good setup by Horus means a kill onto his support. Meanwhile, Susano is chasing up onto the Vulcan, does choose to dive on tower and will get the kill, but unfortunately a knock-up does cause Susano to take more tower shots than he'd like. Just avoids death here, but 4 is looking out here. Does go up into the sky. Will he connect the dive? He will, and Semi gets a kill onto Susano. And just a heat-seeking missile right there from 4 with the ultimate. Just to okay, let's better safe than sorry. Let's just dunk on this dude's head. And so sort of 1 for 1. Actually, no, what was it? 2 for 1 trade across the board. So it does favor Qin Kais, but still, DN showing a lot of fight back at the moment.
Yeah, I feel like the pickup on Izus though was a very good one, but unfortunately, I think Unicornio still dies for that. So, as we have had the Fury go down for which team? I missed that.
It went down for Qin Kais got it.
Yeah, so that is.
It's more gold to their sort of pot at the moment. And yeah, but it's like very much still as seen from game 1. We should not write out the end yet. Still very much a comeback potential here. Meanwhile, ADC's not a lot of action going on at the moment in terms of solo kills and one another. Probably both relying on the others on their respective junglers to show up. And meanwhile, we'll be Valkyrie here getting cut out. Athena is going to choose to ult on him to try and help out here. Lots of damage done, but it's not going to be enough. Goes into heal. And will actually choose for reinitiation. 4 goes up into the sky. I don't think he's going to have the reach to get over there, and so will choose to head away. But more members of Qin Kais are sewing up on this solo side. Does not look like they're going to try and follow up for tower dive instead. Pyromancer is still not on the board. I doubt they're going to go for fire giant, so probably just going to look to see if there's any farm to be taken. Izus, meanwhile, stepped up for a bit, but is going to be able to backblast away. I see it's going to be 4 coming around. A good stun by Bricks does some damage, but will dash towards tower. Volcano goes on through. Goes wide, but Izus gets caught out, and the Tracer is able to get the confirm on that kill. Another kill for Qin Kais is going to be good. Meanwhile, Semi gets stunned out again, but a good wall does a lot of damage. Vinny goes in, hits the taunt, but Semi does not have cooldowns at the ready, and so Bricks will be able to walk on just fine.
Yeah, very unfortunate that Thor just didn't have any cooldowns left to finish off that kill. A bit of interesting.
And meanwhile, as I asked, it is going to be the solo kill. As expected, Hachi wins the solo fight. That's going to be a tier 1 tower fallen. Fury not up, so we're not going to be able to put a lot of pressure. Maybe they're going to try and push for a tier 2 tower. But I don't think that's ultimately necessary. Meanwhile, Zeneca going for blue invade on the other side of the map, as he's assuming DN are going to go respond to the left. Meanwhile, Susano sort of looking around. 4 goes on in. Will he be able to stop the back in time of Taptree? No, he will not. And yeah, Hachi's able to get out of dodge, choosing to not go Dom first, and actually building the oboe first, assuming a team fight is going to be happening shortly. How do you think that choice is going oboe here instead of the Dom first?
Well, because if there will be a team fight around them, I would assume Fury or actually Hachiman is already at the Pyromancer.
Mm-hmm. Here's a Pyromancer pick up. A good drop means that Izus' ultimate is not going to be able to secure it. They are going to pick it up again, but still, DN don't need an ultimate, just need a free. And that's going to be enough for DN to take the Pyromancer. Zeneca will ult on away, and so it is looking to be a fight here. 5-man grouping by Qin Kais, but Hachi will now back away, knowing that Cernanos is still in lane, probably going to try and push for a tower here. Meanwhile, Horus still sort of being a menace to the DN right now, but no damage follow-up expected. And it will be a disengage after that sort of squabble around the Pyromancer. And yeah, once again, it's just that sort of high damage burst potential from Vulcan that is probably going to make any objective fights difficult for the Qin Kais. But they do still hold on to a lead of just just over 3k gold. XP actually since the solo kill, there's now a sort of XP lead in ADC as well as the jungle. But I don't think it's of any decisive gaps yet. What do you think we're going to see, a sort of Fury call here or Fire Giant call here next?
Well, DN already grouping up around the Fury. They will have more 4 versus 4 around here. Semi-ulting very early.
Yeah, not going to be able to follow up. And doesn't it, in fact, choose to start the Fury? Don't know what he was playing there. Meanwhile, the solo side fight is going on the other side, but they're both tanky. They both do a fair bit of damage. I don't think any of them are going to be a lot under pressure. Yeah, because once again, it should be mentioned is Qin Kais are a 4 physical damage team here. We're already seeing the Sovereignty from Vinny, already seeing the Glad from Valkorian. How much? Oh, how's it? Never mind. Fury is going to go handily towards the Qin Kais. They pick that up swiftly, and we get to see a brilliant example of the burn that they are going to have with this Alcon here and available. Isis was not nearby. Well, no one from DM was nearby, so they're able to pick that up quite quickly, help sort of grow their lead even further. It's going to be a grouping now on tier 1 tower, but it's going to be a Vulcan ult to scare them all away. And so that will be a disengagement done by the Qin Kais.
Yeah, that Bologna helping with the Shoguns and just her damage alone. With Hachima's banner giving them a really high DPS on the Fury and being able to do it before Izus gets even on the range of his ultimate. Try and steal her.
Yeah, meanwhile, Susano's sort of going in here against the backline. Will dash on in, but it's going to be a 3-man collapse on him. But will he get any killed? It does force out the beads by the 4. But that's going to be his endeavors for you. That's going to be his rewards for using Blink Ultimate in that scenario, and his beads as well. How would you rate that call there for him to go on in?
Well, it ends up working okay because he does get actually both the relics from the Thor. Seemed a pretty iffy call, in my opinion, before that, but if it works, it's not stupid, I guess.
But then with the sort of beads down by Susan, the ult's going to be up shortly. Do you think it's already around that time that the teams were posturing around Fire Giant Game 1? Do you think they've realised they can give it a bit more time? Or do you think we're going to see a heavy prioritisation once again of the Fire Giant?
I would say that probably we'll be looking at Pyro first. I feel like it's a bit early again for Fire Giant, especially now that the lead... Well, it is closing on 5k again, but probably Qin Kais will just remember what happened last game and be more careful with the FG calls this time.
Indeed, and they are going to be sort of moving about here. Pings going on to the Pyromancer, so we can assume they're expecting a call. Hatsi has rotated over here, so it is going to be a 5-man grouping. Meanwhile, Sonos is just back from lane, is going to be walking on over. It's going to be a catch onto Vinny, but not a lot of damage done. Meanwhile, Vulcan goes on in, does miss. Meanwhile, Valkorian take a lot of damage, but now Susano goes in and hits the double wall, does a lot of damage. But now Susano chooses Blinking again, will be able to follow up onto Semi. Athena going through, will arrive, but not in time to save the life of his jungler. Meanwhile, Hatsi now following more damage, 2-0 at the moment in favour of the Qin Kais, following through. Horus ults on in, moves his team even further, cats up the stun onto Cobain, forces out the beads. Meanwhile, double taunt right now by the Athena, but it's not enough. Brix gets a kill onto Cobain, and that's a 3-0 landslide for the Qin Kais right there. We can assume there's going to be a Fire Giant pickup, and just a sort of swift and very good mechanical fight there by the Qin Kais. Meanwhile, Vinny stepping up again, might be a risk of another collapse, so is able to dash out in time. Meanwhile, Isus is here, does have ult up soon. We are nearly there. Will he be able to get the space throw required to be able to step up and steal it? Looking nearby, is stepping forward, is going to send it out, but it won't be there in time, and Qin Kais will secure the Fire Giant. Now Izus might be in a difficult situation. Susano is looping around to try and sort of catch him out here. Horus brings forward, gets a stun, forces out the beads of Vulcan, and now it's just Izus running away from his base, running for his life. All 5 members chasing up on him. Susano going up, forces out the Aegis, and that will be a kill secured by the Horus, and effectively a 4-0 fight and a Fire Giant for the Qin Kais.
Yeah, this time they realized what went wrong last game and just took the fight beforehand and won it pretty handily.
Indeed, now an 8k gold lead for the Qin Kais. But once again, now there was the comeback in game 1. How scared do you think the Qin Kais are right now? How much thought do you think they're giving to the potential? Oh god, we might mess this up again.
At the moment, after seeing how well the fight around Fire Giant went, I don't think there's any thought of just dropping. I mean, there obviously has to be a small part that just makes you play more careful and not doing stupid things, but like, I don't think they have any doubt that they're winning this.
Indeed, and so it is going to be a split put. Well, not really split push. So push down mid lane and a sort of skirmish going on in left at the moment. Valkyrian puts a lot of pressure onto Pink, but needs to be careful of collapse. But actually, maybe Qin Kais that needs to be careful here. 5 members from DN are posturing around this tier 1. Meanwhile, it's only 3 of the Qin Kais. A double taunt in. Izus goes in with the ultimate, and Hatsi dashes the wrong direction and takes half his health from this ultimate. Has to ult away now in fear of this 4 dunk. Meanwhile, Zeniko now needs to be careful. Gets caught out by the 4-wall. Horror Assault going in now. Causes up a knockup. Meanwhile, Valkyrian actually takes a lot of damage in response, and Brooks will get the kill. And now it's going to be a re-engage by Qin Kais and following up. Vinny needs to be careful. Dashes away in time. Cernal is used. Doesn't put out any relics. And it's just going to be a heavy walk up now by the Qin Kais, walking into the Phoenix. Going up, pressing out. Cabane gets stunned out. Bomb used. Phoenix down. Meanwhile, Izu's getting out pressed here by Vizusano, but Semu will force him away. Phoenix ults given that extra protections, and it's going to be after an engage by the end, it's going to be at the cost of their Phoenix and Valkyrian's life.
Yeah, I feel like DN got a bit baited by 3 members of Qin Kais showing up on mid lane. Good defense of the tier 2, but they just chased Qin Kais for no reason and getting collapsed by arriving members of Qin Kais there. Ended up losing their mid Phoenix because of that.
Indeed, and looking more and more likely that game 2 will go the way of Qin Kais, but not so yet. We can't fully underestimate this DN team. We are seeing that Izus does a lot of damage here with these ultimates. So if those connect, could be a swing, but Qin Kais are also playing this game so far very fantastically. And they are going to back off. Fire Giant will be up again in 30 seconds. Probably going to be looking in. Not going to be an EFG, but we can. Do you think the DN should fight for this Fire Giant, or do you think they should give it up?
Since it's not going to be EFG, I feel like they can afford to give it up, but thinking that it's only mid Phoenix that is down, they also have the potential to fight back into this. They're not that far behind. Level-wise, obviously, there's a big differences in.
Meanwhile, it's actually going to be a fight here. Semi gets caught out, has to use the Aegis, and will survive the onslaught of Agni's ultimates. And so he's going to force out the back there, forces out the Aegis, and it's going to be an immediate Fire Giant call here by Qin Kais, being slowly taken down, but Izus is about. The ultimate is at the ready. Is going to be sent out, but DN will be able to destroy it. I don't think it was the ultimate. I don't know what did it, but they are able to secure it, and it's going to be a disengaged choice now. Meanwhile, Qin Kais trying to follow up here, trying to make it messy for them, but will it be too much? Bomb gets put out, and it is not utilized properly. Cernal goes through, forces a runaway by Horus. And yeah, meanwhile, Thoughts in the sky. Once again, I feel like this 4 does not fully I feel like he overestimates the range on that ultimate. He's not going to be able to follow in through a dive there. And what a steal there for DN on that Fire Giant. And what do you think the mentals and comms are like on the Qin Kais right now?
Yeah, I feel like they are now the fear of same thing
And the
happening.
taunt catches Susano and it just obliterates. It's a 5-man walkthrough now. Tier 1 gone. They're pushing down this lane because this is the lane with 5 minions walking towards them, so best to put their pressure down here. Will it be a tier 2 defense by Qin Kais? Horus goes in, misses the stun, but it allows a lot of damage. Meanwhile, Izu's ultimate goes through, forces out the Aegis, and does do some damage in response. Tier 2 tower Southall. Meanwhile, an aggressive dive in by Vin. He takes a lot of damage in response and will fall because of it. Hatsi gets the cleanup kill for that one. Meanwhile, Vakuin in the sky regening. Zeniko pushing up the press right now. Cobain might be in a bit of trouble, gets caught out. And now it's another swing right now, pushing forwards. Izus gets caught out by the stun, but disarm. Only half health. Uses the back blast to try and gain some distance. Horus looking for the slow from the 1, is able to land it. Back blast again. Oh, it's going to be close, but it's not going to be enough. Brex lands the stun, and Zeniko picks up another kill. And now 3 members are down on DN. Phoenix just about to respawn, so it's going to be easy to finish that off once it does. And this could be good for the Qin Kais. Gotta be careful. Ult's going through. They do stay around. Phoenix will go down. Wall just off the mark. And it will be a choice of disengage by the Qin Kais. But they are instead going to go around and just finish off this tier 2 tower. Fire Giant still up for 50 seconds on Sun Wukong and 4. Athena has spawned. Carries will be up. A bit disjointed, but they will be up soon. Tier 2 will fall. And Qin Kais will choose to disengage. And what an eventful few minutes we just got right there.
Yeah, very, very, very unfortunate pickup on the Susano and the tier 1 tower, opening the way for tower pickups for DN. And then I feel like Athena a bit too aggressive on the dashes, just gets caught out, dies immediately, and then just Qin Kais just roll over.
Yeah.
DN in return.
And so we seem to be, if not we seem to be in a better position for the Qin Kais with that DN Steel Fire Giant. Phoenix is down again for the end. They do take a few tier 2 towers taken from both sides, but DN's base now more exposed. Phoenixes are more readily available. It is going to be a Fury call here by the Qin Kais. Not as much burn here, but now with the rest of the team showing up, it will fall down easily. Fire Giant up in about 40 seconds, and it is going to be an EFG now. Both teams understand the importance of this one. This can go, it feels like either way at this point, even though the kill disparity is large, and it is a 10k gold lead for the Qin Kais. It feels like you cannot write out the end yet. That gold lead is only going to be felt out in support and mid at the moment. But like Qin Kais have to be on sort of the edge of their seats right now. We can follow through with this. How do you think this EFT is going to go? Do you think DN are just going to look for the steal? Do you think they're going to try and take the 5v5? What's the attempt here, do you reckon?
Well, since the mid Phoenix is down, he's just currently dealing with the minion wave, but coming to join his team, there will be, for Qin Kais, they should just be wasting time here a bit. Let the fire minions go through the base.
Meanwhile, it's actually going to be Valkyrian Cloud. It takes a lot of damage. Meanwhile, Horus barely really scratched. Meanwhile, Zeniko is a lot more forward. His team is nowhere to be seen, but we will be able to go in. Horus gets the heal now. Shell is popped. Blink in aggressive by Susano, sends out the ultimate, does a lot of damage. Meanwhile, Valkyrian is still running. Horus will use the ultimate. Susano picks up the kill. Zeniko picks up another. Horus, meanwhile, 4 returns with a vengeance, dunks right down on Susano's head and picks up the kill. Zeniko looking to try and stop the back, will hit it with the Scourge. Meanwhile, it's going to be 2 members of Qin Kai still pissing up onto the Phoenix. So we caught out of this now, uses the beast to avoid the stun. Will have a throw out of there, but will it be enough? Stun, unfortunately, get beats down. And it's going to be a clean up kill there for Zeniko onto the semi. 3-1 at the moment, Saints for 3-1 kill exchange for the Qin Kais at the moment, and it is going to be a Phoenix push instead of a EFG call right now. Hachi puts it on the banner, looks for the attack. Meanwhile, Izu's putting down the ultimate, does get the kill onto Hachi, and that's going to eliminate any structure aggression that the Qin Kais had, and that forces a retreat now. Zeniko very low. Brex Horus looking to escape down solo lane, but will Zeniko be able to avoid, get out of dodge here? Takes some damage, but it's a support v solo. I don't think that kill's getting done there. And so it is a team fight that favors the Qin Kais, but they're going to have to wait now to take an objective.
Yeah, I'm very interested to know what happens there to this Hachiman, because he has both relics up and still dies to the Vulcan ultimate.
Maybe it was a similar situation where he dashed and he was just on the border of it and got clipped by it.
Something like that has to be. We're very unfortunate for the Qin Kais. Good fight for them. Almost getting the Phoenix afterwards.
The End's Phoenix does respawn now and is probably going to be able to stay up fine. Pyromancer gets started now by the Qin Kais. Cabane and Valkyrian looking to try and put up some pressure. Meanwhile, the End sends over Vulcan Ultimate and is able to steal it away, but Susanoo does not want Easy to get away easy with that, but that might not be possible. Meanwhile, it might be a turnaround. Semi goes up into the sky looking for the dunk. Horus and Agni look to return a lot of damage onto it. Meanwhile, 4 ultimate into Zeniko does a fair bit of damage, but it's not going to be a lot. And it is going to be a sort of weird 5v5 fight here. I don't think either teams know if they want to do this. It is all 5 members of both teams here looking for a fight, looking to do some damage. Oh, it's okay. I feel like we are now returning to normal 5v5, but it's actually Qin Kai still choosing to set up now. Horus gets taunted in, but actually puts Vinny in a sticky situation with a Hachi and Agni damage. Zeniko and Susan and Pink into the backline, but takes a lot of damage. Izus gets one. Hachi cleans up another, but it is 2 members low of Qin Kai's in the DN side of the jungle. Cabane picks up another kill on to Zeniko, and it is going to be a retreat now for the Qin Kais. It's a 2-for-1 trade favouring the DNs, but with EFG on the table, that could be a decisive battle right there.
Yeah, good wraparound from Pink Unicorn there on the Izus, but Izus just gets the CC on him and turns to kill around.
Yeah, it is going to now be a startup by DN on the fight zone, but only 2 members are present, 3 of the Qin Kais. Athena and Vulcan on the way. They are going to drop it, going to wait for the full team. Still 20 plus seconds until anyone respawns, so it is a 4v3 on this jungle. Meanwhile, 4 goes up into the sky looking for a dunk. Unfortunately, the Fire Giant's rock is in the way, so he's not going to get a good start on that. And will have to return back to the ground. Does have a fair bit of cooling now, and it will be a Fire Giant started by DN. But will they have the burn potential? They do have everyone they do have their carries, but Agni does have his bombs, will look for steal. Unfortunately, 4 off the mark stun does not land. Fire Giant getting low, about quarter health now. And the Qin Kai's looking to maybe steal this away. Look at that damage, and DN are able to secure it. Cabane gets 1 kill. Good wall by 4 locks out the Hachi, and that's another kill for DN. Zeniko now has to look for the retreat. Meanwhile, actually, good timing on the EFG. It goes to 5 members of DN, and they are marching down right lane, looking to put up as much pressure as they can. No fire minions going down. With this time, it's respawn. It's nearly full health. And with the dual lane down, the Qin Kais for 40 seconds, this could very well be the end of the game. Depending on the defense here, propped up by the Qin Kais. They are marching forward. Maid's Eyes forced out. Damage being done. Zeniko doing as much as he can. 4 is distracting him, but the Phoenix will fall down. Brex gets a kill onto Cabane, and that's going to be a lot of DPS down. 4 with ult again, goes up into the sky, looking to maybe dunk. Susanoo gets a kill onto Vulcan, but now has him to run away. Zeniko trying to distract the carries as he can for the end, but Ink will be able to dash on just in time, and it's a lot of damage being done now to the end, thanks to Brex. Vinny looking to ult on out will be enough, but will Valkyrie be able to get away? And unfortunately, the Burt 70 transformations is not enough, and Brex picks it up. And what a flip-flop back and forth right now in this game. Oh, God. Both teams have to be on the edge of their seats, because what on earth is happening right now? Oh.
Yeah, huge plays from Brex there. Getting the kill into Cabane and then into Valkyrian. This opens up the defense.
Indeed, it's going to be a fury call
and maybe
by the Qin Kais to get this only, and just they did get Phoenix the end, so it does go their way. Still have 2 Fire Giants, but do you think there can really be another? Do you think either of these teams are pushing onto the other's base, or do you think they're now just skirmishing until next Fire Giant?
I mean, they probably will just wait for the next Fire Giant. DN gets the Phoenix, but unfortunately for Qin Kais, it is the right side Phoenix, which is easiest to defend while also hovering around the FG pit. They get also the Oni Fury, which will put some pressure into DN's Phoenixes. So, but I think DN should be able to clean out the waves before next Fire Giant spawn, because we are still almost 2 minutes away.
Indeed, and it's going to be what's positioning. We do see that Qin Kais are gonna push up solo side. They want this Phoenix to respawn. Only waves meanwhile pushing up on left, but it will look like Cabane will be able to deal with that after picking up his purple. DN are aware there is a grouping right now on right hand side because the minions have spotted out the Qin Kais, so they know where they are. Still over a minute until Fire Giant respawns. But it does seem to be a bit. I see pressure and aggression here by the Qin Kais. They do seem to be stepping towards the Phoenix. 5v5 Phoenix is now down.
They do have the fire Oni wave with them, but will be just pushing the fire waves as far as possible and backing out.
Yep, fire waves pushed all the way back. Still, with how much time it left until Phoenix respawns, waves might be able to get back. The fire waves might be able to get back there if left unattended. But with Fire Giant about to be up and both sides sort of grouping around this fire objective, I doubt the fire waves are going to be able to get close. And
yeah, the Qin Kais should be able to defend the fire waves very easily around the Fire Giant pit.
Which team do you think is going to be sort of taking the control of this sort of Fire Giant dance right now? Like, which one's going to be stepping up and which one's going to be stepping back?
Well, DN should probably be looking offensive, like very soon here, while they still have the fire waves pushing.
Horus's Maid's Eyes is used up there by the taunt. And so it is going to be all members here. Now, Fire Giant waves are getting there, but Hatsi is going to go stop that. And if the DN spot that, they might try and be aggressive here. And it does seem to be the case with double taunt up now, going through Horus, double knock up, double stun. Good wall there, Katz is out, force out the ultimate by Zeniko. Double knock up instead with ultimate, and it is going to be is going to be Cernanos getting a kill there in response. Meanwhile, Qin Kai's Phoenix does respawn, but with DN having the kill on the enemy support, they are going to be ones to pick up the Fire Giant. Already at half health, but they are wary still. Agni is about. Fire Giant now getting close to a quarter, and it is going to be Qin Kai stepping forward. It does not seem to be he's going to drop. It's going to be an attempt, and it's going to be DN able to secure it. But they are taking a lot of damage. He gets a kill, though, but they are all low. Probably going to look for disengage here, heal up, and then push forwards once again. And now Qin Kai still ahead in gold, 7k, but at this point, 40 minutes into the game, gold does not matter. This is now just a state of how good are your builds and how good are your plays. And DN are showing off their strengths right now. And this is going to be a heavy push here, we can reckon, by DN. Relics are up for Qin Kai, still 30 plus seconds until Susano is around, but should be up by the time Phoenix gets gets severely under threat. Where are Qin Kai's defending here? Are they I assume they're defending Phoenixes, but do they want to fight in under Phoenix, or is this sort of okay? Maybe we want to fight in like jungle corridors or the throne room. Like, what's the ideal environment here?
Well, DN doesn't have any bombs to make this siege easier, so guys could still be looking to fight.
Horse misses a dash. Volcano goes on through, does not connect unfortunately, but does force out an Aegis by Brex. And now, meanwhile, DN does step forward. Susano is up now. Valkyrian has to ult to get that regen. Clone does destroy, and Phoenix as well. So that will be a mid Phoenix taken for DN, and they will be retreat. Get that health regen. And so that's now 2 Phoenixes as well, as it seems like minion waves were able to kill the right hand side.
Minion waves with help from Cabane. Cabane was actually split pushing the right way.
Again. It's going to be a Pyromancer to pick up as well for DN. 2 Phoenixes down. Qin Kai's trying to get what they can from the map going for this Primal Fury. We can assume that the end are now going to be pushing down left-hand side. Still got under a minute. Probably not going to get to Phoenix with Fire Giant still up, but with the pressure they have and Fire Wave stepping forwards, might be. Do you reckon this is the potential end of the game, or do you think the end are going to wait for the next DFG?
I would assume DN will be looking to press with this FG, even though it's only 40 seconds left. But if they get even a single pick, that is basically another game. And back to the FG fight, I feel like there was a little bit of miscommunication between Qin Kais, because the Hachiman was going back to defend the fire waves, and meanwhile their front line was still positioning very aggressively around the fire giant.
No, I definitely concur. We do seem to be going straight back into it. DN are grouping up. They are going to be pushing down this left-hand side. Meanwhile, quite a few members of Qin Kais are on right. They are going to be able to back in time once they notice what's happening. Is a tier 2 that there is a tier 2 tower that has to fall first, but that's going to go down real easy. 10 seconds left with EFG. Not going to be real useful in this team fight now, but with fire waves about 30 seconds away from entering base, could be the potential for a fight here. Depends if Qin Kais want to take it. They do get the taunt in. Valkyrian will blink on in, hit the stun onto Bricks, force out the dash, and it is going to be a fight now. DN are low. Semi gets the dunk, however, on to Bricks, and that's going to be a big damage. Meanwhile, Susano is in the backline, gets a kill onto ADC. Hatzi gets another kill. Sumikon goes to the phone. It is deaths on all sides. It is going to be favouring Qin Kais with his kill onto his son Wukong. Meanwhile, Susano is still in the backline, putting pressure. Good taunt by Vinny, but it's not going to be enough to save the Vulcan. And with the aggression being put forward by DN, Qin Kais meet it with kind, and they are able to get a 4-for-2 trade here. But minion waves are pushing through. Do you think they're going to be able to get to Titan in time, or do you think this is more a perfect just time to defend and farm up?
Yeah, and unfortunately for Qin Kais, I think with the two lanes
they will engage here, and it will
heavily.
be a cleanup, and will be a Dia side actually for Qin Kais. No one up for another 30 seconds. Maybe a Phoenix gets taken here. Maybe if they run fast, but maybe the high priority is EFG that is up now. So could be a good opportunity to take this now. It's going to be under no threat. They should have the burn to get this in 20 seconds. And Qin Kais, they choose, we don't need EFG. 2 Phoenixes down, we can take the fight. And they did get a lot of kills, but unfortunately they all dissipated, and Qin Kais were able to clean up with a beautiful sort of wraparound by Susano to get into the backline. And
very good plays from Susano there, being able to pick out the backline of
this is a very flip-flop back and forth set right now. Like we thought game 1 was the sort of game of a comeback. This one is just back and forth every time. Do you reckon Qin Kais with this EFG are gonna have enough to be able to maybe push to take Phoenix of their own, or do you think they're going to utilize this to focus on defense?
They should be able to get at least one Phoenix with this, definitely. With Zeneca pushing up right fire waves, Phoenixes have respawn, so no more fire waves. So actually, they're grouping around mid.
Yeah,
I would assume,
Phoenixes
have
Phoenixes have respawns, and no more fire waves going through, and it is going to be a grouping on this mid Phoenix right now. And so we do have to sort of look. The old ball.
Horror's looking to
ult in for the surprise attack, and will it be a proper follow-up, or will they just get collapsed on? They are not. The front line goes in and they're not taking damage, but a good ball and an ultimate scares the back line away, and so. But the Vulcans are causing not, but it will be Phoenix to fall down. Valkyrian looking to try and get a kill. Meanwhile, Horus causing a lot of disruption on the front line. 4 goes up in the sky looking for a dunk, trying to see if his team will follow on through. Does choose to go on in, but not enough range. And it will be a Phoenix taken from the end, and Qin Kais looking to disengage, take an Oni Fury here.
Yeah, still I feel a bit of like miscommunications or difference of opinions on the front line is going very aggressively in, backline staying very safely back, but worked out. So,
Indeed, it did.
and with the Oni Fury here, I feel like they could be pushing for another Phoenix with this Fire Giant.
Yeah, I mean, still for only 45 seconds left on EFG, so maybe not. They're probably not going to try and make a repeat mistake of what the end did and push while there's no Fire Giant on them. So it does look like we are going to another EFG, nearly 50 minutes in. Oh damn! This could be this could possibly be a very long set. People watching, so. Well, yeah, let's see how this goes. Qin Kais looking to push forward now on the right-hand side, push up the only wave they have.
Unfortunately for DN, the Oni Fury was taken, I'd say, a bit too early. So the only waves will be taken care of before the Fire Giant spawns here.
Indeed, but it's still some added pressure across the map, pushes waves closer towards the left-hand Phoenix, and it does actually look like a heavy grouping here by Qin Kais. And it does look like Sana goes on in, tries to pull back Cabane, but does get taunted back, has taunted away, has to use the beads. Meanwhile, Coin goes to the backline. It does seem to be an actual big fight here. Vinny gets one kill secure onto Susano. It does look to be a re-engage here by the end, gets a double taunt. For Vanny does a lot of damage. Agni does a lot of damage. 2-for-1 trade so far, but it does seem to be Qin Kais are on the low end. 4 uses beads, trying to push this up. Does uses Aegis of Judgment to do some damage and does get the kill onto Brex. Horus is low. Meanwhile, Zenico in the backline is able to get another kill, but 4 will finish out. A 4-for-2 trade here for DN. And Qin Kais do make the mistake that DN did, pushing without this EFG, and they do fall once again. And now DN looking to, with no one up for another 40 seconds at least, could maybe be a Phoenix here. I don't think they could be able to get a kill on Zenico unless he just puts up forward. But saying that, he's taking a fair bit of damage, already half health. Will we be able to take down Phoenix here? Oh, definitely, it does go down. But meanwhile, sort of fire minions are going into time room. It's not going to be enough. Does some damage, but is it going to be a attempt here at game by the end? Paul goes up to go, gets a pull. Meanwhile, Zenico takes a lot of damage. That goes down. Will it be enough? Will Susano be up in time? DN after tops and turvies. Qin Kais doing their best. Will it be enough? But it will be a game 2 looking for this DN team. Susano, if they were up a second or two earlier, may be able to save that. But DN, after a 50-minute game, will take it. Will take this set 2-0. However, even though that was a 2-0, that did not feel like a 2-0. That Qin Kais put up a fight for the ages. They did their best. They held on topsy-turvy. That was not a clean. It was just oof. What are your opinions on that set?
Definitely not a clean win for DN, but then again, very much of a heartbreaker for Qin Kais, for leading both games early on and then dropping the games around objectives.
Yeah, we do see the damage number, nearly 60k from the Vulcan in damage. That just chonking away. And that felt like a game of, okay, which team has grouped up, and then is our mid nearby to just chuck abilities at them. But that seems to be where a lot of the damage was coming from. And both times, but in both pushes, it was, oh, we don't have Fire Giant. We should be able to do this. And they are proven wrong. And unfortunately, 50 minutes into the game, the respawn timers is over a minute long. And DN are able to utilize it to take a victory. That was very hard for Qin Kais to not be upset with their loss here. They fought valiantly. They did their best. They came so close. They got so close to it. But unfortunately, it is a 2-0 on the record for DN here. And
yeah, that is the Isus Vulcan putting up work.
Indeed, it was. And yeah, do you have anything else you'd like to say about that set?
Well, both teams definitely will have things to work on, but both teams also played very well around some parts of the game. So
yeah,
Good takeaways for
Yeah,
both.
that just a very back and forth, both sides. Very rarely was there a decisive fight. It was very much, oh, we both taken equal from each other. Oh God, it very well played Smite by both sides. I can't sing the praises of any of these players enough. They all did very well, and yeah, yeah, I'm speechless. That was a very long game, but it was a good one to watch. I hope everyone, all the viewers, you enjoyed it as well. And yeah, thank you very much to Outso for being there too. Thank you to production. And yeah, see you all. I think there's another cast late today, so hopefully see you for that one. And yeah, thank you all very much. Good, well done to the teams. Thank you, Outso. Thank you, production, and goodbye. Bye.
Bye.
Smoked out, tongue tied, ain't letting your bitches slide. I played you, your eyes gone fucking wide. I wish I could just leave you fucking side. You an annoyance to everyone around you now. And now the two of you, yo, pride the one you fucking through. Underage girls, what the fuck you into? Please tell me what the fuck is going on in your broken ass mind. Yeah. Yeah. Yo, I'm back. Ice is my voice, just licking my sack. Pistol into the fucking wall, kinda slack. You been talking loud as smack, but you been acting kinda whack. I got something you lack. Fast as a Big Mac, and your mama throwing it back, throwing it back. Smoked out, tongue tied, ain't letting your bitches slide. I played you, your eyes gone fucking wide.